Hey everyone. I have decided to put my training in video form so it can be referenced throughout the year. So we're going to go through the PFCE paperwork. PFCE stands for Parent, Family, and Community Engagement. This is a child folder index that will be put in each of the child's folders. This is the one to replace last year's. You can see what goes in the file, what is scanned into Child Plus, or both. So we got the partnership agreement, family needs, crisis or referral forms, pre-existing plans if there are any, family outcomes assessments, the parent conferences, those all go in the file as well as being scanned into Child Plus. The fatherhood survey gets scanned into Child Plus, put in a folder for safekeeping if you need it. They're pretty informative. I've redone them this year. We'll go through that whenever we get there. And the parent interest surveys. There will be one that is sent out at the very beginning, and then you'll have them at the conferences, I believe, health conference, home visit 1, and home visit 2, but we'll get there when we get there. Next up, we got the confidentiality policy. This states this confidentiality policy shall be in effect for all areas of CADC Head Start programs. Because of the nature of this program and the involvement with children and families that we serve, confidential information will be involved. In order to appropriately serve the children, to work with the families, and to maintain the confidence of all involved, the following procedures will be followed. All information received on the children and their families will be held in strict confidence. Only Head Start staff will have access to this information. All information will be kept in a locked file. All staff entering the records of any child will sign the folder review form in the front of the folder. Parents will have access to records of their own child only. They may view any information in that record by making a request to the teacher or the on-site manager. Volunteers or others in position not paid by Head Start will not have access to the folders. When information is requested by other agencies, medical professionals, public schools, or any other entities, such information can and will be released only with the written permission of the parent. All the staff members need to sign and date this and send a copy back to the office and hang a copy with your licensing forms. Next up, we got the child abuse and neglect policy. CADC policy concerning child abuse and neglect states that all staff members have a moral as well as a legal obligation to report suspected abuse or neglect. Oklahoma state law specifies that suspected cases of sexual abuse and non-accidental physical or mental injury to children under the age of 18 must be reported. Every individual in the state of Oklahoma is bound by this law. It tells you how to report it and the steps you take after reporting it. The reporting staff must complete the CADC child abuse reporting form immediately. After the above has been done, the on-site manager should contact the PFCE coordinator, which is Tara Harrison. The report should be scanned and emailed directly to the PFCE coordinator. The original should be mailed in a sealed envelope marked confidential to the Head Start office to be filed for documentation. It is not our job to investigate. Keep that in mind. Staff members of the local county Department of Human Services or local law enforcement are required to immediately investigate reports of suspected child abuse or neglect. The name of the reporting person is held confidential if requested. Everybody needs to sign and date this form as well. Hang it with your licensing papers and send a copy to the office. This is what the child abuse report form looks like. You're going to fill in the child's name, address, birth date, name of parents, circle the type of abuse, in the description of concern, describe what makes you concerned, and who is making the report, the staff member that is making the report. You also need to note the time and date you called the child abuse hotline. I know it says when DHS was contacted, that's a child abuse hotline. Time and date PFCE coordinator was notified. If report is towards a staff member, time and date the Quality Assurance Safety Licensing Coordinator, which is Samantha Packard, when she was notified. Make sure to sign this paper and date it. Throughout this video, I will also have 3 keywords that you're going to take note of, and you will send it to me, the PFCE coordinator, Tara Harrison, via email with the 3 keywords that you have found after watching this video. We're going to reflect on the first keyword. The first keyword is unicorn. Next up, this is the Community Partnership Agreement. I have simplified the form and went back to a 1-page form, so as you're doing your field trips or you have anyone involved in your community, go ahead and fill one of these out. These are super simple. You're going to put the center, the phone number, the address, and contact person. You can fill one out and make copies of this to have on hand throughout the year. Most everything on here is a checkbox, and then you're going to put the resource agency's name, the address, the phone number. Make sure the on-site manager or coordinating staff with their title signs it, whoever's doing the community partnership, and the authorized agency representative signs it. Once you get this filled out, go ahead and scan it into the PFCE section of Child Plus and put it under Community Partnerships. Next up, we have the Family Partnership Agreement. If you have been here for more than a year, you may recognize this. We went back to a more simpler version. It has a Family Partnership Agreements guidance sheet. It tells you how to fill it out step by step. At enrollment, page 1 of 5, fill out first page with family, check all that apply, whoever is helping them with their stagger day. Page 2, help families set a family goal that breaks the goal down into 3 obtainable steps. Make sure parent and staff signs at the bottom. Ask families if they or their child have a pre-existing plan. If they do, we have a form for this. Some pre-existing plans consist of sooner starts, IEPs, IFSPs, foster care, therapy, counseling, etc. This pre-existing plan form looks like this. You can select what applies. If none of them apply, select other and write in what it is. Make sure to ask them who the service provider is and when the plan started. Give a brief description of what the pre-existing plan is. If there's any documents to support it, make sure you make copies. Make sure the parent and staff signs. August through mid-September, so we're talking about from when they start their stagger days to the health conference. Family service workers, page 3. You're going to fill in the resources that are needed for them to complete their goals. Fill in the supports that they may need, if any. List the resources and support and date when you gave them to the parents at either drop-off or pickup. We're not leaving them in the cubbies no more. We cannot build relationships this way. The families need to put a face to the person that is trying to help them succeed. If you cannot reach the family before health conference, please put the resources in the health conference document so the teachers can go over the resources with them. Make sure to sign the form at the bottom. So I'm going to go through here. This is page 1 and 2. Resources for families. This is the one that the family service worker is going to fill out. Family service worker, do you see at the bottom where you need to sign? That's where I need you to sign. Okay, now conferences. This is where the teachers are going to fill in pages 4 and 5. First assessment is going to be the health conference. Present the resources and supports. If they have already been presented, make sure that the parents are comfortable with those resources, or if they need other resources or supports, make sure to log it here. Home visit 1, you're going to check the progress, as well as home visit 2, and at transition conference. During transition conference, you're going to mark whether or not the goal has been achieved. If so, if the goal has been achieved earlier in the year, let's say at the first home visit, they've already achieved it. Ask them if they would like to start another goal. They still have time. If they don't want to, they don't have to, but a lot of families do want to keep working on their goals because they like the support that they get from us. There's also a family crisis referral form. If there is an immediate need identified, immediately fill this out, the first 4 lines. So you're going to put down the family name, the name of children enrolled, need identified, date requested. If it's immediate, please circle family crisis so that the family service worker knows that this needs to be addressed immediately. Family service workers, if you're doing any referrals or finding them resources, you're also going to put this on here. The only time you need to circle something at the top is if it's immediate, it's a crisis, it's an emergency, it's something that they cannot wait on. Send an email to or call your family service worker to inform them there's an immediate need. Place the pre-filled form in the confidential folder that you have set up with your family service workers so they can start finding resources and services as quickly as possible. Next up, we have the Family Outcomes Assessment. This is something that you are going to do when they enroll in August or whenever they enroll at the first home visit and at transition conferences. There's a preliminary score, which is done upon enrollment, a mid-year score, which is the first home visit, and an end-of-year score, which is at the transition conferences. Please don't make the families fill this out alone. Go through this with them. This is why we're hopefully scheduling stagger days to be a little more one-on-one, have a little more support staff, but please don't make them fill it out alone. Let them know that we're here to help. It's okay to not score 3 in all of them. That is our purpose. We're not here for just the kids, we're here for the whole family. Make sure on the 3rd page, this first page is front and back. On the 3rd page, make sure the parent sign and the teacher sign. Please do not make your family service workers hunt down signatures. Okay, who's ready for their second keyword? The second keyword is the, T-H-E, the. Now we're going to go over all the parent conferences. We have 4. We have a health conference, we have home visit 1, home visit 2, and transition conference. Each conference has a guidance form. It tells you who's in charge of what the family service workers will do, what the teachers will do, what reports need to be ran, even how to enter it into Child Plus. The forms are fairly simple. I tried to make it with the least amount of writing as possible. You can check a box. It shows you what all you need to go over. So at the health conference, for example, you need to review with the parents the 30/30 health summary. Are there any referrals? Yes or no? If there is, circle what the referral's in. Their Brigance screening. Make sure they receive a copy. Same with the health summary. It shows which ones they need to receive a copy. Of course, if they want a copy of any other documents we have on their child, we can make them a copy, but make sure that you add that to the comment section on the back. Individualized curriculum, you'll print that off out of Child Plus, and you'll give them a copy. Make sure to visit the Family Partnership Agreement, the family goals. Discuss the following topics: the current curriculum and theme, volunteering opportunities, family style dining, and upcoming parent committee meetings. Is there any other additional resources or information that the family is requesting? Please add that to the comments. Would they like a follow-up conference? Is there any contact information that's changed? Has the insurance changed? Has the family established a new medical or dental home? If they weren't enrolled in WIC or SNAP benefits, are they now? Please go over this list with them. If there's any changes, there's a space at the top to fill in the changes. There's also a space Below that, would parent or family like a member of the management team to reach out to them via phone call? If so, click the box yes. Provide a brief description. If the parent does not want to give you a description of it, just put parent would just like a call. Make sure you get signatures of both parents and staff. Please do not make your family service worker hunt down a signature. This is on all your conferences. You've got guidance sheets. You've got the conference form, front and back. Guidance sheets, conference form. Guidance sheet, conference form. They are customized to each conference what you need. The parent family feedback request, you can see at the bottom. Health conference, home visit 1, home visit 2. That's when these need to be done. Make sure the parents sign these. Teachers, you're going to initial that they signed it. Now we're on to parent meetings. This form has been set up and it is in the Google Drive under PFCE folder to post when the parents have decided what week of the month, what day of the week, and the time and location of when each parent meeting is going to be. Example, maybe they decided that they want to do the second week on a Tuesday at 6 p.m. Make sure to include the address down there. It also has all the policy council meetings that are upcoming in this next school year. Make sure this is posted on your parent board so everybody has access to this information whenever they need it. Parent meeting. It also has a guidance form. It tells you how it needs to be done. It tells you what to go over. This is the form you're going to fill out. What all needs to be done. So parent or vice president calls meeting to order, reading of the last minutes and approval. On-site manager, make sure you have a copy ready. These should be in your stars folder. All you should do is have to pull it out and then refile it back in your stars folder after the meeting is done. If there's a policy council report, we'll make sure that you get the most recent policy council report that your parents can read over. Conscious discipline trainings, these have to be done every single month. On the Black Book, on the Google Drive, under PFCE, I have conscious discipline all set up for you. I have guidance sheets for every single lesson. All you got to do is pull the information off there. If you need any help, please reach out to me. I want to help you. The parent choice trainings, on each one of the back of these parent committee agendas, you're going to notice that there's parent choice trainings. The ones with the double stars are things that must be trained on throughout the year. There's only 4 of them. The rest of them the parents can choose. The parents can choose to knock all 4 of them out in the first 4 months and then move on to what they choose. Or like in October, where we generally have Fire Safety Month, you can do Fire Safety Month there, or whatever they would like to choose. Towards the end, they're going to pick which one they would like to learn about the following month. Make sure at the beginning of every parent meeting that they sign in. Make sure that all the lesson plans for the next month are ready for approval so that they can look through them. If it's not time for you to have your lesson plans turned in, go ahead and print off what they have on Frog Street. Let them look it over, see if they have any ideas that you can include in your lesson plan. Lending library, every family service worker should have a lending library. If parents would like to see anything specific, write it down in here. Items that they may want, current items that we have that they'd like to have access to. If you're not having access to the lending library, say something so I can make sure that you do get access to it. If there's any upcoming events like field trips or parent days or anything like that, days off, trainings, whatever, make sure to announce it and log it here. You'll see at the bottom right before you adjourn the meeting, next month's parent choice training topic. That's where they're going to go ahead and pick from this list what they would like to learn about next month. Next in my pile of paperwork is a fatherhood survey. You can hand it out at stagger days if the father is there. If the father is unable to attend, you can ask the mother to take that home for the father to fill out. It does not have to be super immediate. I would like to have them all back by the end of August, but if that is not able to happen, because some fathers, they work long distance ways, some of them work in the oil field where they're on the rig for 3 weeks and then off a week, or however their schedule might fall. I want to make sure that they have the time to fill this out. As you can tell, it is different. We're going to kind of dig deep. We're really trying to get fathers involved. What male role model is most prominent in that child's life if the father's not around? Whoever is a male role model in that child's life, ask the mother or the caregiver or whoever has guardianship of the child, please have them fill that out, because we want them to be involved. What do you want for your child? How can we support you in getting there? Why are you the father that you are? Who influenced you? What was your relationship like with your father? This is why I want to give them time to fill this out, because this is really a reflection on what type of father they are, what they would like to bring to the table for their child, and if there's any changes that need to be made, we want to be able to foster that. We want to be able to provide resources for that. This one is the parent interest survey. This is done at stagger days enrollment. Sorry, it's kind of a little wonky in the pack. This is going to be kind of a quick touch on, okay, what would you be interested in learning at the parent meetings? What times work best for you? Would your family prefer meetings held in person, virtual, or hybrid? Matter of fact, don't even worry about doing this at the stagger days. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that at the first parent meeting. I will make a note of that. We're going to do this at the first parent meeting. That way they have time. They can reflect. They can meet other parents, and maybe they can get together and discuss, hey, what do we want as a whole? What do we want as individuals? Stuff like that. We want to make sure that they know that we want them in there. Every center needs to have parents in the building. No more are children being dropped off at the door and let in. The parents need to come in. Parents need to sign them in. This is providing that they don't ride the bus, but they need to come in the building, sign the child into their classroom. We are building relationships. We want to build the relationships with our family. We cannot do that in a drop-off style like public school does. We're not public school. Now, for some of you that are in public school, and that is the case, like there's not a whole lot we can do about it. But if your public school does not mind the parents coming into the classroom, into the building, please encourage it. We want the parents there. We want to ask them for help. They can help maybe just with breakfast. Hey, breakfast is a little bit crazy in the mornings. Do you mind coming in and sitting with us, kind of help us out so that they have another face to look at and talk to? Mystery reader. Somebody likes reading books. Maybe somebody has a certain skill that they would like to highlight. I've had a parent in the past that was really good at gardening, so that was something that they brought to the table. I've had another one that knew how to play the guitar, the banjo, harmonica. They love showing that to the kids. Would they like to just chill out in the classroom and hang out with y'all and have fun with their kid? They're welcome to do so. If they don't want to do something with the kids, like some of them get a little intimidated by having so many kids in a small space, maybe they still want to volunteer in other ways. Maybe preparing art activities or cutting papers out or lawn care or the at-home activities, which are all going to get anyways, but maybe this way they can kind of see like it's a choice. Prepping lesson plan materials, center cleanup, community events. If you have town events like Burnsplat has the birthday bash, and Cordell, they have a lot of events on the square. I know that I've seen several events posted on community pages. If you want to do a booth at a community event or a float, floats are really cool. Kids love it, parents love it. Let them help out with that. And make sure that they understand what the field trip guidelines are, that it has to be a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 children to 1 adults. in order to go on a field trip. If you cannot get enough volunteers to do that, the field trip has to be canceled. Nobody likes a canceled field trip. Finally, the last form I've got for you is a DHS Care Provider In-Service Training Verification. This does not apply to everybody. This applies to centers with foster children. The foster parent, caregiver, guardian that does the fostering has to log so many training hours a year. I have recently found out that foster parents can use our Conscious Discipline Parent Curriculum training as their training hours. So I have filled out, these forms are front and back. So here's the front. This is what whoever's doing the Conscious Discipline training, they're going to fill out the front. And then it's up to the foster parent to fill out the back. They have to answer 1, 2, and 3 to get credit. So I filled a form out. Jane Doe, make sure to date it, what conscious discipline you did, conscious discipline, positive intent, what date it was, how much time it took you, make sure the trainer signs it, and then the parent will fill out the back. I put this in the Google Drive, so that you also have this example along with the blank form. If you have a foster family, this is going to help them out immensely. We live in rural areas. It's hard to find some of these trainings. So being able to get the training every single month for them to collect those hours that they need. Some foster parents need 12 hours, some need 18 hours, some need 28. It depends on what level of fostering they're in. But this is going to be a huge, huge help. Okay, now that we have been over all the forms, I'm going to go over some training that I kind of wanted to touch base on. Effective family engagement. I will upload all these training documents into the PFCE section so you have access to each one of them. I'm not going to read it word for word. There's just a few key takeaways I would like to give you. 2 critical dimensions of family engagement is trusting relationships between the educators and families, and the connections of family engagement activities and efforts to student learning. This is why we really need to focus on building those relationships. We want the parents to trust us, that we want them to be able to come to us. We're here to help them too. And the more they feel connected, the more they're going to want to put in more effort to their child's education. Trusting relationships are strong when educators are culturally responsive and reach out to families to build partnerships. All families feel welcome and respected in their child's school. That hurry up, drop off, sign this paper, and get out of here is not a welcoming atmosphere. Not at all. Educators and family leaders jointly plan and lead family engagement activities. This is why we want the parents to see the lesson plans. We want their opinion on what would you like to see in this classroom? What do you think would be more beneficial? What can we do more one-on-one with your child that you are seeing that maybe we missed? Connections to student learning are strong when family engagement activities are aligned with district goals for student outcomes. Family and educators engage in two-way communication about the students and what they are learning. Two-way communication. It shouldn't just come from the teacher or just from the parent. It needs to be a back and forth conversation. This is why we have so many conferences with them. Family engagement activities help families to provide support for at-home learning. That engagement in the classroom, the engagement in the field trips, the engagement in the in-kind packs, like all that is going to support that. I really like this graph. I thought it was kind of neat. As you notice down in here, whenever you got a lower or a weaker connection to student learning and a weaker trusting relationships, educators send out announcements about meetings and information on social media events via text, email, and social media. That's one-way communication. We're not building any kind of relationships. We're just saying, hey, this is this. You have no say in the matter, pretty much. And whenever it's stronger in the connections, stronger in the relationships, you get up here where the educator and family leaders jointly plan interactive trainings for family members on how to support college and career readiness. How to support, this is not exactly, like it's got the right idea. Like obviously we're not sending their kids to college or careers right now. A little too early for that. But we can support them in their learning goals. We can support the families in their family goals. Here's another handout that I found super useful. Children's learning happens in the context of relationships. We have all heard, I know when a child is talked to opposed to when a child is talked at. The children that are being talked in a way that it's a back and forth conversation or just directed to do something. We want to do that with our families. We want to be able to show that support, be able to show that example of how that is done if they're weak in that area. Build supportive, trusting, and ongoing relationships with families by looking for strengths in those families. Share your observations with the family. If you notice that somebody has a really awesome morning routine at drop-off, like, hey, I noticed that y'all have this really cool handshake that y'all do, and I thought that was so cute, and that y'all took the time to really devise that kind of plan in the morning to make drop-off a lot easier. Good job. Parents like hearing positive feedback just as much as children like hearing it. Don't you like hearing positive feedback more than negative? Engage family members in discussion about the children's learning and development. Provide a warm and welcoming environment. That hurry up, drop off, and leave is not a warm, welcoming environment. Invite them in. Conversate a little bit with them. You've got families that are going to be there that might want to stay and help play with the kids. Encourage families to join in and contribute to classroom experiences. Tailor communication to fit the family's unique interests, cultures, and language. If they speak another language, obviously their communication probably needs to be written out in another language as well. Microsoft Word has this really cool translator on it that it has so many different languages that we can use. If you do not have access to Microsoft Word, send it over to me and I'll get it translated for you. Keep in mind, not every family has Facebook. Facebook is kind of a dying trend. If they don't have Facebook, ask them, hey, how would you like me to communicate with you other than person to person? Because obviously we're already going to be doing that. We should already be communicating one-on-one, drop off and pick up. But how would they like to receive their information? Do they want a printout that they can hang up on their refrigerator? Do they want it on Facebook? Would it be a text message? How do they want to be communicated with? Really learn what ways you can interact with the family. Invite families to plan the parent nights, the parent meetings, offer input on curriculum planning, and join or lead professional development learning opportunities. Same with policy council. Even if they're not elected as a policy council representative and the alternate for your center, they are welcome to ride with them so that they know what's going on. Invite them to do so. It's very informative. I know you're probably still waiting for the third word, but we still got a little ways to go, so hang with me. So next up, communication log. This is something we struggle in as an agency as a whole, is logging that communication. In your Child Plus app, you can send out communication through the app, through the email tab, or you can log it individually. I have made a printout of how to log communication. This is the individual child entry instructions. You're going to select the child, then you're going to go to Family Services, and then you're going to click on Communication Log. Once you get into the communication log, it should look kind of blank like this, and you're going to click on Add Action. The action is right there. Type of communication that fits best and fill in the date of the communication. Caseworker, whoever's putting the communication in is a caseworker in this case. Add roughly how much time you spent communicating this. You'll see in the drop down window that there's a bunch of different types of communication. Maybe that was a center or office meeting, an email. We don't really fax much, but it could happen. It was a home visit, message or flyer sent. That's when your paper copies go out. Other parent conference, phone call. Just pick whatever best describes what communication method you used. In the action note, type in what you talked about. Okay? Doesn't have to be super lengthy. I'm very long-winded whenever it comes to documenting stuff. I wish I could shorthand better. I don't. But just get the general idea of what that communication looked like. Okay, once you have finished that communication, click save, and you're done. To communicate with multiple children, it's a pretty similar way. You're going to go to Entry Express, log a communication. You're going to click program term, whatever program term it is, your location, enrollment status is enrolled. You're going to select the children that you made this mass communication with. Maybe you sent out a reminder that there's no school on Labor Day, or you sent home a newsletter or a calendar or a reminder on a field trip. This is when you're going to use a mass communication. And you're going to fill that out pretty much the same way you did the other one, the type of communication, like the newsletter, actions completed, quick note on what you sent out, and then save. Next, we're going to go over what the newsletters and calendars should look like. If you want to do a calendar spread or a newsletter spread, however you want to do it, I'm not too picky. You can pick one, the other, or both, but it needs to be informative. If you notice here, we got important dates. We have what we're working on the lesson plans. We need volunteers. This one's super cute. I like this. It's good, but it needs a few more details, like the parent meeting. What time is it? Where is it at? Don't know. Upcoming field trip. We need to know what date, time. This one is a calendar. Not super great. There's no parent engagement, no field trips, no parent meetings. It just has the days that are pertinent to the functioning of whether the class is open or not. I do like that there's a birthday scheduled in there. That's pretty cool. Do you have to do it? No, but it definitely helps build those connections. This one also has no parent engagement, no parent meetings. This is just a basic calendar. Like, anyone can pull this off of the internet, or they can make one. This is just a waste of paper. I'm sorry. It's cute, but it's a waste of paper. Please make these useful. This one, it has helpful dates. It has upcoming events. You can see parent engagement, parent events. There's field trip. Up at the top, it tells you where they're going, what time. There's a nutrition activity that the parents can go on, donuts with dads, fall festival, in-kind class, just whatever you can get your parents engaged in. You notice at the bottom, every Friday is their family craft time from 9:30 to 10:30. They ask for parents to come up and do a craft with their child. Here's another one. You got parent engagement with the mystery reader, the parent meeting, in-kind class, fatherhood engagement, family craft days. Do you have to have something every week? No, but it's cool. Like, the families want to be engaged. Maybe dad cannot make it the first 2 weeks of the month, but maybe he can make it the second 2 weeks. Like, having that set allows for all families to be accommodated. The last thing I'm going to go over is the conscious discipline parent curriculum trainings that we're going to do at the parent meeting every single month. It's already all laid out for you. You have what topics you're going to go over, when you're going to go over it. In the Google Drive, there's a whole folder for it. There's also a frequently asked questions. Where do I find all this information? Got a picture of the book. What if you can't find it? You need to let me know, because that's a problem. Why are there presenter speaker notes made? It's so that you don't have to go through 3 to 13 pages on each deal. It's already laid out for you. It covers the basic information of that lesson. It's part of our program standards, the Head Start performance standards. That we have to do this every month. Performance standards state that a program must, at a minimum, offer opportunities for parents to participate in a research-based parenting curriculum that builds on parents' knowledge and offers parents the opportunity to practice parenting skills to promote child's learning and development. We have to. That's why it's there. Like, we're not just giving you busy work. This is something that the Office of Head Start says we have to do it. Here's an example of one of the lessons, empathy. You can find it on page 60 to 67 in the parent education curriculum. It tells you what you need to prep, what pages those are on. There's a video that goes with it. You can play the video. You can opt out of not playing the video. The videos I picked out just kind of made them a little more understandable, in my opinion. The presenter and speaker notes. It tells you what to say, how to say it. Give families time to complete the lines. When it says that, like, there's some things. This is what's going to be sent out a week before every parent meeting, so that they have the month of the parent meeting, the date, time, and place. Here's one of the handouts. This is where you're going to give them time to fill in the lines. Same thing with here. It gives them the ability to practice. So, okay, are you ready for the last keyword? There it is. Last keyword is fabulous, because this next year is going to be absolutely fabulous. Thank you.